everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Welcome, fabricators. It's been a little while. I got sick after DataCon and it took me a little while to recover, but I'm back and ready to go. And today we are talking about copy jobs. We hinted about this in our previous video where I showed how we could use an API to be able to check the status because I had a customer with a copy job that was running. They're doing their bronze load and they wanted to be able to then load to their silver only if the copy job succeeded. Well, I realized I hadn't even covered what copy jobs were, how incredible they are, why you should use them. So that's what we're going to do today. A copy job has the capability just to be able to copy up data like you can with a data pipeline. It's an extension of a data pipeline, but not exactly a data pipeline. And that's where things get a little bit interesting. It gives you the capability to be able to also do incremental loading. And the incremental loading to me is very, very key. We can do this with a watermark column, or we can do it with CDC. CDC is actually going to be something that we dive into a little bit deeper at some point. So we'll cover that in another video. Today, we're specifically going to look at watermark. And a watermark would be, do I have a timestamp? Do I have a GUID? Do I have something on a table that's going to allow me to know that it's changed, to see that it's changed, and then bring that data over? You know what? Enough talking about this. You know what I want to do? I want to show this to you. So let's go look at this great content together. All right. So I've done an install of an on-premise data gateway about 1 million times now. But what I wanted to show you was how we update one. It's a really easy process. We're still going to have to download the latest executable, but then we're going to run through this. Now, I'm going to greatly shorten this because nobody needs to see the status bar go across the screen. So this is going to go. And once this happens, we've got the software up to date. Now, the reason this is important was we're using our On Premise server and I've got my database incremental copy job. We're going to be creating a table here, but we're also going to be inserting some values, updating some values. And what we're going to look at is how this works specifically with watermark. Now, the first thing I need to do is go into Fabric and go to my managed connections and gateways. I'm going to go to my on-prem data gateways. You can see I've already got my on-prem mirroring data gateway registered. And then I'm going to create the connection to my local SQL server. Brad on-prem mirroring. This is the name of the gateway that we just updated. Copy job incremental. That's what I want the connection name to be. This is a SQL server. We're going to Avengers Tower because why not name it that, right? Database incremental copy job. On the authentication method, I'm going to use basic. We could do a whole bunch of different stuff here, but I'm just going with basic to be able to keep this pretty simple. And boom, there we go. There's my connection. Now I'm going to create a new folder. So this makes everything nice and easy and very, very organized. We're going to call it copy job demo, and we're going to work out of this folder. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a warehouse because this is going to be my destination. DW copy job, go ahead and create. This is going to spin up our warehouse in Microsoft Fabric. I'm going to take my server name and I'm going to connect to the SQL Analytics endpoint. So that way I can run this count and also a select from the table. So we can do a comparison because what we're looking at is the behavior of this copy job. And that is really, really important. So I'm going to make sure that this is connected to my warehouse. This is connected to my local SQL server. Let's go ahead and create our table. And then we're going to populate it with 50,000 rows because I kind of need to have the table there and have some data before we can create the copy job. What we can do is we can now go ahead and create our incremental copy job. Let's hop back over to Microsoft Fabric. We're going to go to new items. We're going to go to copy job and let's go ahead and let's name this what it is. Incremental copy job on-prem to DW. Go ahead and click create. And this will pop up our wizard. We've got some work to do here. First, we've got to make our connection to our SQL server. Now, I'm going to start out with this information, Avengers Tower. I'm going to select the gateway as my on-prem gateway, and then I'm going to put my database name, incremental copy job. It's going to find the connection that we created. I'm going to click next. It's going to do some connecting. I'm going to select my table one. There's my identity key, my ID, my updated date, all the stuff that we're going to need for this. I'm going to select my warehouse of DW copy job. And I want to look at the edit mapping real quick. The reason is this auto did this for me. You can see my date time is now a date time too. But if you wanted to change anything, this is where we would do it. We're going incremental. We could do a full copy job, but let's face it, the fun of a copy job is the incremental. I need to select that watermark date, which was my updated column. I could run this once, run this on the schedule. It's going to make a schedule that runs every 15 minutes. So this is one of the things I want you to keep in mind. This is where you would alter that schedule. You can also disable or create a schedule afterwards. Okay, so we're in the incremental copy job. We're going to fast forward through this. It's going to take a little over a minute, but this is going to find our data. It's going to copy it into our data warehouse. There's our 50,000 rows. Let's go look at our data warehouse. We're going to go to the DBO schema. We're going to go to the tables. My table 1 is already there. And there's a little bit of fabric magic. All my data is there and it's copied over. This is fantastic. Now we want to run back to SSMS and let's take a look at our counts and let's verify that everything looks good. So against the SQL Analytics endpoint, I'm looking at my data. You can see it's a date time too. So there's a slightly longer decimal notation than I had within the date time data stamp, but everything matches up. Everything looks good. Okay, so now let's make some changes to this data. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to update my rows. Now I realized as I was looking at this that I was just going to replicate everything divisible by 2, but I've got an updated date and I want that updated date to be updated because that's my watermark column. So I'm going to add this right here. Updated date equals get date. And what we're going to do is we're going to update every column that is divisible by 2 to be my char and have 25 C's within it. Now we can go back over to our incremental copy job over in Microsoft Fabric, because what I want to do is I want to see these changes in my DW. So let's go ahead and run this. And this is the first thing that we're going to look at really from a behavioral perspective, where I want to make sure we watch how these updates behave really, really closely. So we're going to go ahead and refresh. This is going to take a little over a minute. Again, you can see 25,000 rows red, which everything divisible by 2, 50,000 rows. This is what I would expect, 25,000 rows. Now let's go back to SSMS and let's take a look. Let's rerun our query on our SQL Analytics endpoint. And what I'll see is I have 75,000 rows. Now, this is a really key thing for us to understand. I can see everything's accurate. I can see the 2 column, the 4 column. I can see the updates. I can see the update time on this. Everything is very accurate. But what happened here is we appended these updates. I now have 75,000 rows, not 50,000. So this is treating this like a slowly changing dimension. And the reason for this is if we look at our documentation, Warehouse currently does not support merge, but it does write append. Now we do have sources that can merge, but we'll get to that in a second. Now, this is the Fabric roadmap. Again, link is down in the description of the video, and it's important for us to understand merge is coming. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a public preview, Q3. We're in Q3, and when we get that functionality, we'll eventually be able to get some updates for Copy Job. Under Data Factory, you'll find your updates for Copy Job, Incremental Copy Job with new GA meter. We've got some other stuff coming. I would imagine this is a Copilot AI-powered Air Assistant for Copy Job. And then there's a whole bunch of additional updates for additional features coming in Copy Jobs. So again, look at this roadmap, because if there's functionality you're looking for, it may be there, and there's a lot of great stuff coming. So when we come back to this documentation, what I'm going to do is I'm looking for a Fabric data source where I can do merge, because that's behavior I'd like to look at. And of course, Fab SQL database in Fabric, the most fab of all the SQLs, right? It has merge, it has append. So now let's go and create a Fabric SQL database that we can utilize, and let's utilize append. Remember, we get a mirror with this. I can still access these mirrored tables using a 3-point naming convention in my data warehouse or a shortcut in my lakehouse. So this is going to be a perfect destination, a perfect way for me to be able to get my data in. First thing I'm going to do, I've got my Fabric SQL database created. I need to recreate my table on my SQL Server so that way we can start from scratch as we're doing this. So we're going to drop the table, recreate it, insert 50,000 rows. I'm going to go back over here because now I can create my copy job. Let's go to new item, copy job. We're going to go and let's name it exactly what it is. Copy into Fab SQL from SQL. There we go. And we're going to be copying from on-prem. So what do we got to do? We got to make our connection. We're in the wizard again. SQL Server. We're going to enter the same stuff. Avengers Tower, because that's my server name, the database incremental copy job. And then I'm going to go to the gateway. I'm going to select my on-prem mirroring. It's going to find our connection. I click next. After it spins for a little while, and I have shortened this down. So if it's spinning longer for you, don't worry about it. I'm going to skip the preview. We've already seen the preview of the data, and I'm just going to go ahead and select my source to copy into Fab SQL. Now, here's where we're going to look. I've got this update method next to append, and now I'm going to be able to select merge. Merge is really, really what I wanted. Now you'll notice this is spinning for a second and I have to have a key column. Now, if I have a composite key, I can select multiple columns, but at a minimum, I have to have my primary key selected for merge. On top of that, now we're going back and we're selecting our watermark column, updated date, because this is how we're going to determine our updates. We click next, we go ahead and we run this. And now we just go ahead and fire this off. We're going to fast forward through this again. This is going to run for about a minute, and this is our initial load. So I'm going to go back over to my Fabric SQL database. I'm going to refresh my tables so that way I can see that my table 1 has been created. And let's go to open in. I'm going to need my server name and the database name, because remember, we connect directly to the database on the database connection string. We're going to change this window so we're going against the database. And again, remember, Fabric SQL is Azure SQL database, so there was no real data type changes that I needed to make. This just worked beautifully. And so if I do a select, I should see everything is up to date. I do my update now, and let's see how this merge behaves, because this is what I'm looking for. What is the merge behavior versus the append behavior? So we're going to come back in here. This is our incremental job. I'm going to trigger this again. We're just going to go ahead and run this. And again, we're pulling from on-prem, taking this up into Microsoft Fabric across our on-prem data gateway, about 58 seconds for the 25,000 rows that were written. When we come back, let's go ahead and let's do a refresh. Boom, there's a little bit of that Fabric magic right there. 50,000 rows. Merge worked exactly how we wanted it to. And I can see my updated dates work. The records match perfectly as well. Now let's look at changing this data up a little bit more. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to take this and I'm going to insert another 50,000 records. So we should be at 100,000 records after this completes. And then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to update everything divisible by 2. I'm going to change the replication to W this time. And I want to see how this handles it. When we look at our table, we can see 100,000 rows, everything divisible by 2 is at a W. So we should have about 75,000 rows that we're updating in total. So let's go ahead and let's insert this. Let's go ahead and run our copy job again. We fast forward through it, 75,000 rows. This is looking good. Now let's make sure that everything worked exactly the way we wanted it to. So we come back over to SQL. Let's go ahead and run our statement. And boom, there we go. Again, Fabric magic, 100,000 rows. Look at that. Everything matches up. We've got our timestamps the same. Our chars are the same. But there's one thing that we have to really keep an eye on, because we've got append, but we don't have deletes. And that's something that you need to know, because if you want to run some deletes, you're going to have to delete them on both systems. Now, if we take a look at this, you can see I deleted 250 rows. My count is 99,750. But I'm going to go back over to Microsoft Fabric. We're going to run our copy job, and we're going to see that this does not process delete information. Now, again, this is on watermark. This is specifically what we're doing here. We run this, runs for a little less than a minute. 0 rows read, 0 rows written, because there was nothing for us to look at specifically. And when I run this, I still have my 100,000 rows. So what do I want us to take away for this? First off, copy job, absolutely amazing. Whether we're looking at maintaining a slowly changing dimension, whether we're looking at doing a merge right into Microsoft Fabric, we have the capability to get this data, get it up there in a very smooth and automated fashion. I only did one table, but I could actually do multiple tables per database. Right now, the copy job would need to be a copy job per database. So if I'm pulling multiple sources to be able to say, get my raw loaded in and begin to do some processing, this really is an easy button. So I don't have to do a whole bunch of copy data tasks or necessarily make it dynamic for me to be able to find. Wonderful, wonderful shortcut. And I think this is really cool. But there's also these nuances that we need to look at between append and merge. And then we also need to understand the way deletes work. Okay, sound off. You know where we want to keep this going. Down in the comments, we want to hear from you. Are you using incremental copy jobs? Were you aware of all these little nuances? Any questions you got? Any follow-up videos you'd like to see? Thank you so much for joining us on Tales from the Field. As always, be good to one another.
Today's gonna
Bye,
be a
everybody.
good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good